always persevere. So I want to expose the 7 signs of lust versus love. And I went online and I was able to pull from Relationship Rules. It's an online resource. And I love hearing other people's opinions about certain situations because I don't have the only voice in the world, right? You just happen to be listening to my podcast. So let's talk about the 7 signs that they mentioned, lust versus love, when you're with someone. And how do you know the difference between the two? So, number 1. Lust versus love. You always dress to impress. This is more of a superficial thing. So here's the deal. Yes, the physicalness of it all. I myself, I can appreciate a very handsome man. And I have my personal criteria that I consider to be handsome. But that's just one side of the aspect of the total man. That doesn't define for me the total man, his physical appearance. And I can also appreciate every now and then a man dressing to impress, putting on the right cologne, etc., a beautiful pearly teeth, white, bright smile, etc. But he doesn't always have to be that way. He doesn't always have to present himself just like Mr. Ken, a Barbie doll. But if you're always finding yourself, and this is what they're saying, every time you meet with this individual, every time you guys are getting ready to go out, you always have to feel like you have to physically look your best, then this is a sign that it's lust. It's not a sign that it's love. It's leading towards the pathway of love because it's superficial. Who in the world wakes up every single day with their makeup done, you rolling over and she got lipstick on, she has her face is just beat with the makeup? No. There's morning breath, there's all this other stuff. So listen, that's superficial if you always got to feel like you need to be looking a 10 when the reality is that some days you may be looking a 4.5 and you need to know that this person loves you despite. All right, so that's a sign that it may be lust versus love. Number 2. If the relationship lacks a meaningful conversation. So here's the deal. If you're getting to know somebody in the beginning stages, that's just general conversation. And you're building your foundation. You understand what I'm saying? But if the foundation is not being built upon layers of additional topics and different areas in your life, you understand what I'm saying? It's just a surfacey type of it's like going to the pool. You have the shallow end, you have the kiddie pool, you have the shallow end where you can see the lines, and then you have the deep end. Think of it that way in conversation. So when y'all first meet, y'all in that kiddie pool. You got the cute little toys and everything. Everything is just scenery. Right there at the ankles is just, hey, how are you? What's your name? Da-da-da-da-da. That's that kiddie pool conversation. And then as time progresses in the relationship, or whatever you want to call it, date ship, relationship, get to know you ship, whatever it is, you transition to the shallow pool. So that's the 3 feet, 4 feet type of conversations. It's still safe. You see the lines, but we're going a little bit deeper in our conversations. We're unlayering ourselves like an onion. You understand what I'm saying? And then hopefully if the foundation is built right, you continue on in that exploring one another. And you now go into the deep end. There's a bottom, but you really can't feel it. You have to know how to swim over in this area. And oftentimes we don't really travel to that deep end. One person is scared to swim over there in that area. So therefore, I think I'm hitting on something. Somebody is scared to swim in the deep end. So while you got one willing participant who's willing to talk about marriage, who's willing to talk about commitment, who's willing to talk about building a future, you have that other person they're just safe on the shallow end. They don't want to go in that deep end with you. They want to explore you in the shallow end. They want to play around with you. See, because in the shallow end, when I was a kid, we used to do handstands in the shallow end. We used to flip each other over, do flips in the shallow end. You got people who are in relationships or date ships, and all they want to do is play around with you. They don't want to swim to that deep end with you in conversation. They don't want to explore who you really are outside of the superficial look that we give each other from the outside. You understand what I'm saying? So it becomes a lustful situation. Ooh. Number 3. They look like, this is funny. They even look like sin. What? Wow. This is what this basically means. It means that the person that you with, they can't stop thinking about how you look. Not what you make them feel like, not cute memories about how you guys shared a great laugh together, or when they saw you come to the door in your jogging pants and ponytail, they thought you was just so cute. No, they only think about what they want to do to you physically or sexually, or your physical physique and what they could do to you physically. That's the only thing they think about when they think about you. They're lusting after you. That's not love. So don't misinterpret that as, oh girl, he said he'll do this to me. That's not love, sweetie. He lusting after you. It's a game. It's a hunt. And you are the prey. So you got to watch out. Number 4, your time is spent tumbling. This is what this means. Instead of intentionally creating dates where you actually go to the movie cinema and he actually has to dig in his pocket and pay for you and buy your popcorn and drinks and actually have that experience, all he wants you to do is come to his house and sit on his couch and put in a movie and call himself cooking for you or ordering out. And if you even get through the movie, he wants to physically be on top of you, or she wants to physically be on. All they want is they want that physical connection. They don't want to watch a movie with you. They don't want to watch it from the beginning to the end. They want to just tumble with you, play around with you. They don't want to take you out and show you off. They want you to come over at night when no one is watching. 5, you don't connect on an emotional level. There's no emotional level there, people. When you connect emotionally, you aren't bothered by silence. You draw comfort from each other. You can literally sit in each other's space and don't have to have a conversation and be so content. Like have you ever just had that with somebody where you're just in each other's space, or maybe you're at Starbucks together and both of you have your laptops and you're just so content, you're so happy just to be in that person's presence, and they make you smile. You can look up and they look at you and you look at them and y'all googly eyed and you're smiling and you're doing footsies. You're just happy. You're not always, you with somebody and you're quiet in. What's wrong? What's wrong with you? How come you're not saying anything? That person's insecure. That person needs to get a life. That person needs to have several seats. So listen, emotional level, you have to tap into that. 6, your memories are associated with the bedroom alone. This is if you've had sex in the relationship and you've gone there and you have not allowed yourself to restrain from that. If you had sex with somebody, only thing you can think about is what y'all did in the bedroom. You're not thinking about the moments of laughter, the walks, the talks. If you even did that, you're only thinking about, man, oh, I wish we could do that again. That I want to do that again. That's all y'all think about. So it's a lust thing. It's not a love thing. And then 7, the final thing is, you don't have any plans for the future. You are literally wasting your time, sir. You're wasting your time, lady. If you can't imagine spending a lifetime with this person and all you think about is the physical part of the person, you are wasting your time. Listen, remember, relationships are built upon, it's a layering situation. It's like that pool. You initially meet in the kiddie pool. You have those kiddie pool conversations. You then transition to the shallow end. Now you're talking about your goals in life, your individual goals, what you see yourself doing, how you see yourself adding value to the world, etc. And then you branch off into the deep end. But this is where relationships fall off, because one person's just not willing to swim with you. One person's not willing to put on those goggles and go deep down and deep dive with you regarding the future. And I always say this, you're doing yourself a total disservice if you are spending time consistently with somebody and you guys are not talking about marriage. You guys are not talking about the future. You guys are not talking about how you see yourselves blending your lives with one another. That's total commitment. That's what God ordained. That's what God loves. He ordained and orchestrated marriage. He didn't ordain and orchestrate a long courtship or a long dateship or a long boyfriend-girlfriend relationship. That's not what God does. He does it good and he does it perfect. So I say this. After you have listened to this podcast, be honest with yourself. If you're with somebody and you can't see yourself saying, I do, in terms of spending the rest of your existence on this earth with this individual, this person, building a life with this person, growing together, going through issues together, praying together, loving on each other, raising children, whatever it is for you, then please remove yourself from that person's life. Make room for another individual who God can prepare to love on that individual. Don't waste another day trying to establish something because you're being selfish. You're not being selfless individual. You're being selfish by spending time with a person that you can't see yourself marrying. What are you doing? We have to take ownership for who we are and the type of lifestyle that we desire to have. And if you're not ready to get married and you're with someone who is ready to get married, who is about love and they have morals and values, etc., and you're just not wanting to swim with them on that deep end, come on, my brother. Come on, my sister. Do yourself a favor. Let them go. It makes you a better person in the end, and you're giving them an opportunity to meet the person that God has actually ordained for him or her to spend the rest of their lives with. I'm just saying, people, but who am I? I'm Dr. MV, and you have just tuned into my podcast, Singles Get Real with Dr. MV, WGSN-DB online radio station going solo after dark. To learn a little bit more about me, go to my website, www.drmv.net. Until next time, people, God bless and peace.